And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Heebie, Jeebies, a game of unsettling notions. This is a party-style game in which you're trying to figure out what are things that bother other people. Do people picking their nose and eating it? Does that bother you? Or does it bother you worse when someone's a backseat driver? Or does seeing spilled blood bother you? That's sort of kind of what this game is. Here's a more exacting explanation. Now the game has a giant stack of cards, 250 of them. Unfortunately, they have the square corners and there's different various faces on them, different emoji faces on them and different things. We'll talk about what's on the cards in a moment. Each player is also going to get 4 cards that are numbered 1 through 4 and have the same color and symbol. You can see here that maybe there's blue stars or orange blobs or purple circles, whatever. So each player is going to get one of those. Then one player is going to go first. That's the subject. The subject's going to put out 4 things that might give you the heebie-jeebies. They draw them from the deck. So maybe getting fired, or cleaning hair out of the shower drain, or spider crawling up your leg, or skid marks, and not the ones on the highway. So there's different things here at the bottom that kind of some flavor text, I suppose, for each of these. And so each player then is going to pick a number secretly of which one they think that the subject will get the most heebie-jeebies from. So do that. Pick the one that you think gives Tom Vasel the most heebie-jeebies. Alright, time's up. Haha, this one's an easy one for me. The spider crawling up my leg. I can't think of almost anything worse than that. I despise spiders. And if you were correct in picking that, then you will get a point. And so you keep track of your points. I'll show you a couple other ones here. Let's see. We have dirty dishes in the sink for a month, people who don't use deodorant, paper cuts between your fingers, and slimy mushrooms. Which one of these is it? Well, again, this one's pretty easy for me, and that's dirty dishes in the sink for a month. That would drive me absolutely bonkers. The other ones I deal with at conventions and such. All right, and let's see some more here. We have blisters, deep, creepy voices, watching childbirth, and greasy hair. What do you think I'd pick? Well, actually, you might be surprised, but watching childbirth, I've done it enough times. That's kind of gross, but I think here I'd pick greasy hair. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Greasy hair. I'm thinking, you need to wash your hair. Anyhow, so that's how the game works, okay? So you're going to go around. Each person's going to do these, and people are going to be collecting points. And the first person to get 10 points is the winner. The first thing I must talk about is the quality of the game. The quality of the game is really not that great. It doesn't look that sharp. It uses those emojis, I guess, on the cards, and I like those. The art for those is fine. But as I mentioned, the square corners, the whole thing looks almost like a print and play thing. And this apparently was a Kickstarter. And again, I would have put some more quality into production. I would have done simple things like forget the one-sided cards. Put 2 things on each card. That would have saved a lot on production costs. You could have had more cards in the game. Doesn't matter. You just flip them around and have different ones. Even the chips are just kind of cheap plastic chips. So I think the game itself hurts itself because it doesn't look that great. Honestly, the game itself, the concept of the game is different, right? What gives you the heebie-jeebies? The game itself is just trying to play to the judge, right? Trying to guess what the person is going to pick. That's been done in many other party games. So while I find this one enjoyable because of the topic matter, there wasn't anything here that like really grabbed me. So this one is, it's okay, right? It's fine. I enjoyed it. I'd play it again because it is kind of fun to look at something and say, oh yeah, that person's really bothered by that. Maybe spider crawling up your leg would not bother you as much, while for me it really bothers me. The stuff in the game is mostly PG. There's a few things that might hit PG-13 or so, but for the most part, the game itself is pretty mild in the different things that they pick. A smaller box, better production, all that would have helped it out tremendously. As it is, it's just merely a decent party game rather than something that could have been much greater. Dice Tower Judgment, approved, but barely.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
Yeah.